Hello, it's your friend DoubleByte, and we're back with some Dominions 4. In this episode, I'm going to be starting an MA Ulm playthrough. The reason being, I started again the other day as MA Ulm, and knew nothing about them, and created a really bless-based god, and these guys don't have sacred units, and I'm like, well, this sucks, but these guys look cool. So I decided to do a series of them, because they look pretty cool. And there's a little bit of reading online, not like stupid strategic, but apparently Ulm is known for being a really, a nation that's considered to be underpowered traditionally in Dominions, so I think it could be interesting. So in this episode, I'm just going to literally just do some god design, and then start the game. My last game, the map glitched when I started, so I'm hoping that doesn't happen this time. But as we can see here, Ulm rose from the fallen empire of Ermor, which is basically Rome. These guys are really good at smithing, and have super duper armor, and are not affected by drain, as you can see, production bonuses, but everybody is super resource intensive. Like, costing more resources than gold, and crappy magic, really slow crossbows if I recall, just from my very brief time playing them. So, yeah. So, what do we want? So there's a couple strategies for gods and dominions 4. It's kind of like blind leading the blind here. I'm not good at this game, but I'm going to teach you guys how to play this game, even though the guys that are probably watching this, I'm sorry, I should be saying guys. Rewind. I'm going to be trying to teach peeps how to play this game, even though I barely know how to play this game, and most of the peeps watching this are probably already really good at this game. And like one of my friends, who really just got this game, is like already winning games. And I'm just like, hey! So, a couple different kinds of gods you can have in this game. You can have an early expansion god, who's going to be awake, and helps you take early places. You can have what's called a rainbow god, where you try to have a bunch of different kinds of magic, and use that to kind of get a lot of magic diversity. You can just pick a god that's going to shore up some of your weaknesses. So, for example, these guys have a lot of earth and fire, not much else. I might want to shore something else up. Nothing else to mind off the top of my head, but, you know. There's a lot of other nuances. So let's think for a second. Our magic is very focused in very limited areas. As I've said before, we have massive resource costs, and we're not going to get a lot out of a bless. Blessing sacred troops, because we don't have sacred troops. We have a lot of choices here. So if you see, there's some really cheap guys down here, more expensive guys down here. First bunch are all immobile. Beastie dudes. So, Master, let's an example. Let's just Master Alchemist. So if you can see here, Dominion 1, new magic paths cost 10. So, this is a potential rainbow god. You can get a lot of different magic paths for very cheap as far as points, but not going to spread god mojo very much. These guys are going to be your awake pretenders. Crappy at magic, not great at dominion, but really good offensive and defensive stats, so they can just go whole hog. This guy's also really good because he has recuperation, so he'll recover ailments. I've tried doing awake god strategies before, and they just succumb to getting so many afflictions. Plus, this guy has fear, so people are going to run away from him. Amphibian. So, these two guys tend to have good offensive and defensive stats, tend to be bad at magic paths, and not the greatest at dominion. Then there's your kind of medium guys, 40 and 3. They tend to be a lot more expensive as far as points, 3 and 60. But they're a little more well-rounded. And then your immobile guys tend to have pretty good dominion and cheap magic paths, but they're not going to be going around doing much. So I believe last time I went with the Idol of Men because I wanted a Nature Bless and Flaming Weapons, only to find out that that's not going to do much for me. So, scratch that. So let's go back to here. What do we want? Most of all, we're going to want our scales to be really good so we can get lots of resources. Our troops are good in melee, low magic resistance, and again, kind of crappy mages, so early expansion I don't think will be a problem because we're really durable. That's my intuition. So we'll start imprisoned, and let's just start with our scales. Minimum of 6 minion, because we want to make sure that we can spread our mojo. Income up, resources up, income up. If you remember from our nation description, our smiths are not affected by drain scale, so I'm just going to crank this motherfucker up. And we already have a lot of points left. So, let's go this up to 9. And 3 locks. We'll have really good luck, events. And can even boost that back up. So, if we wanted to do this straight up, we could. I ended up sticking with this. This is kind of ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. And again, that will mean our magic sucks, our god is going to be terrible at magic. That's not going to change that. So, keeping that in mind, if we're going to go forego magic on our god, what do we need our god to do? So off the top of my head, what I'm thinking is, I know these guys have really good earth magic, so maybe something to exploit that advantage. We have good smithing. We're going to be forging a lot. Okay. So one possibility is go for a cheap rainbow, so we can get a bunch of magical sites later on, and get a nice gem diversity going. Now we're going to have issues with forging, just because, you know, we don't have the diversity. But I think there's a thing that we can like get like a boost, some kind of boost in our whatchamacallit, the magic schools, so that we can actually craft those things. But I'm not going to gamble on that. And if we went with a rainbow for purposes of getting magic gems, we're going to want that early, whereas we've balanced everything so far by being imprisoned. So let's go with something that's going to be good late, so we can keep our imprisonment and get those nice extra 100 points. And we'll kind of shore up what we got going on. So, right now we have this guy who's 160, so we need to go 160 or less. And let's look here. So these are idols. Again, they have decent research. They're durable. By the way, if you think I'm clicking through this trying to actually like show you a bunch of possibilities, no, I literally have no idea what I'm doing right now. This is my. So yeah, we have a. That'd be good for an awake. Demi-Lich. I have some good death going on. And cheap new magic paths. Decent starting dominion, like this had us at 4, that'd be at 3. It's not too bad. It doesn't move around though. So we couldn't use him to go around looking for death unless we went deep into augury. Or actually death isn't augury, I forget what threat's death. But a lot of death, maybe we could use him to do necromancy. Again, we're going to want him to go from province to province to go collect dude, so not sure about that. But now I'm kind of thinking along those lines. Okay, someone maybe in death or in nature, because nature has sleeper commanders. Death has a lot of good summons, so maybe supplement our strong physical troops with some strong magic troops. I know that death has Banes and Bane Lords and Wraiths. There we go. That's an angle we can do. So let's look for someone else who has some good death going on. Alright, Doggy of the Underworld has some death. Pretty cool. But I'm not sure if I'm feeling that. Raven of the Underworld. Not sure if I'm feeling that. There's 2. Let's see if there's anything else that can give us 3. that gives us 1. But he'll get ghosts, cheap new magic paths. This is cost 200 though. Gotta pay attention to that. Gotta pay attention to that. So that's the master lets you know. Alchemist, you're kind of crappy. Bitch Queen gets wolves. Master Smith. Oh, add this value to all the magic paths. Okay, so this kind of ability is how we get the other thing zones. That's nice. But 200. But I think there's a crappier version. Yeah, Eldest Dwarf also has Master Smith, and it's just overall crappier. But that's fine. You know, good for summoning Ivy Lords, or I meant that might be nice. If we want to go again that summoning route, Great Sage, Inspiring Researcher, Adept Researcher, Freak Lord, Crone, Master Enchanter, and Enchantress. Okay, so we're not seeing any. I'm not seeing anything else really good at death, aside from maybe this Raven. And we could bump the death up 1 more, and use the Raven as like a late game summoner, and it feeds on the dead. So that's really cool. I like that. But I'm intrigued by the Ghost King. So it seems like he passively summons ghosts, which is cool. We would need, I think we'd want 3 levels in death. But let's see if we can work around Ghost King. I think that'd be really cool. I also like the flavor of the Ghost King leading these armies of men. I think that has some appeal to me. Okay, so do -3 there. Okay, we can get away with this. -3 research is pretty rough, but we're going to be spamming Smiths as much as we can, just based on their stats, from what I saw last time. Do we need the 8 Dominion, or can we go 1 less? That's how many points we get from 1 less. That's a lot of points. That gives us the Undying +5, which I have no idea what it does. New magic paths cost 20. Just for kicks. Just for kicks. Let's give you 3 nature as well. So what that will do is it'll let us possibly go with the summoning, sleeper, and vine dude strategy as well. And I feel like there's a couple other good nature spells later on. Plus, I think, let me just see. Nature's the school of regeneration. This is the school of reinvigoration? Yeah. We have lots of this, so let's try this. We're not affected by the drain scale, so even though if we have like a hella drain, that should be fine. Magic resistance is increased. Ooh, so that will help bolster our innately low magic resistance. So I think this feels good. We're going with a very scales-based strategy. Our magic is trying to supplement our late game, get us some summoning going. But our scales are designed to get us there, and we have a lot, basically all bonuses here. I think that's going to be really good. So, how do I save you? Can I save you? I don't want to save this in case something goes wrong. Whatever. Okay, so we have Ghost King, God of Ulm. Ghost King, God of Ulm. What should we name him? What was the name of the creepy Ghost King dude from Dragonlance. Oh god, it's been so long since I read Dragonlance. Soth? I don't think it was Sloth. I think it was Soth. Soth. If that's not true, whatever. His name's Lord Soth. That sounds pretty cool. Maybe I think maybe you have to create the god in the home screen, and then you can load it. Whatever. I'm feeling this. This all looks good, I think. Alright, a map generation. Now, while I'm here, I'll go through a quick overview of the units. I'll do that again at the beginning of my next video, but I might as well do that now, just while we're here. I find the map generation thing so cute. Planting trees, sprinkling dirt, drawing borders. Well, it's actually kind of more relevant than the other ones. Drawing stuff. Just draw some stuff. Lord Soth, god of all. In the beginning there was chaos. Now the wheel has turned once again. Alright, so let's look at our map here. Okay, so I have a choke point around here. I think it goes to my mouse. Choke point here, choke point here. As far as our nearby area, we have a couple of thrones. This is a good spot. Here's a good spot, so I want to try to take those two. There's a good spot. Then here there's always going to be a little bit of action, but as long as this will be my hardest border to protect, I think. But even so, it's... Oh, this only connects here. Oh, that's tricky. Okay, so we're going to want a fort here. A fort here. And since this is on a thingy, probably I did have a fort here. Yeah, because this one's bordering, so I don't want that. Fort here, fort here, fort here. Yeah, fort here. Cool. That looks pretty good. Only 3 bordering squares for our main place. Not great. This is probably going to be our best fort resource-wise. And let's look at unit-wise. So our scout is a straight-up spy. Additional info and uprisings. That's cool. And here's the strengths of Ulm. Average, 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 average. Holy crap. Holy crap. Yeah, encumbrance though. So let's go through our units. It looks like a lot of units, but they're actually pretty simple. The commanders are all just various weapon types. Black Lord is your pretty standard cavalry commander. Siege Engineer helps you break down sieges. Master Smith uses less gems and provides resources. Mobile resource providing. Then we have generically priesty dudes that exist for some reason I will probably never get. Then there's the Priest Smith, who's like a combination of the two. If I find any independent, like they're not that much more expensive, all things considered, so if I find any independent sacred units, I might go with that. I do have a minor Death Bless, but really nothing to write home about. And then Lord Guardian has kind of a enemy god version of Awe. Frightened Saber, which is kind of cool. And good at castle defense. So then we have War Dogs, which are armored puppies. And they're cheap and not very good, but they're still adorable. I'm not going to use them probably. I'll probably use some of them, but I'll feel real bad. Crossbowmen. Fires really slowly, but pretty good. So for each of these pairs, we have regular, 18 protection and magic resistance, then like 5 encumbrance. And we have these guys with 6 encumbrance but 21 protection. And they cost 10 more resources. So yeah, so we have Battle Axe guy, Flail guy, Maul guy, Hammer guy with shield, Morningstar guy with shield, Pike dude, cavalry, Sapper, which is kind of cool, crossbowman, that also is good for sieges, and then Guardian, I think it should be a sacred unit thematically, but who has the Black Halberd, which does extra damage against sacred units. So basically, we do not approve of people of other faiths, and that's unfortunate. As Lord Soth, I support people of all faiths, except that I'm a god who's trying to destroy all of the faiths, so moving on. But yeah, so Pike dude seemed pretty awesome. Nobody's really anything special morale-wise or other stats-wise. It's really just we are focused on this big protection and this low magic resistance. And low defense means we'll get hit a lot, but who cares? I was reading a little bit about what the kinds of weapons do. So like Battle Axe is just a ton of damage. Flail is less damage, but is better against shields and has 2 attacks. Maul is a lot of straight up damage. Hammer does both blunt and piercing. Morningstar does blunt piercing plus damage against shields. And then Pike is lower defense but is long, so I think you get like reach attacks. This game is so fucking complicated. How the fuck do people play this game? How the fuck do I play it? And moving on. So yeah, so I think we've got a game plan for the next couple turns at least. Got our god strategy. Got our ridiculous scales. And we'll see how this goes. So, it's actually pretty late. I'm not going to start this game right away, although I really want to, but I gotta shower and get to bed. And get this video processing. So, I'm going to end this episode here. But yeah, welcome back to Long Form Dominions. Hope you enjoy. And until next time, DoubleByte out.